Thank you so much, Paola Paz. This is one of the most famous executive TV and radio producers in the US, in Miami. I'm really honored to have you here, my dear Paola. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. Welcome to our program.
Absolutely. No, thank you. To the contrary, thank you. I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you so much. How you got involved with radio production, with TV production here in Miami?
So actually, I am in Charleston, South Carolina right now. I used to work in Miami some years ago because that's where I studied in Miami-Dade Community College. And so, but I moved to Charleston, and I was in Atlanta after Miami. So Miami, Atlanta, Charleston now, working in everything that has to do with media. I work in radio in Miami, in TV. In Atlanta, I was involved with radio stations too, and the newspaper. So right now I'm working for Northern Media, who is in charge of all the media in the Carolinas. So newspaper, TV, and radio, and I have my radio show, Tell Me Everything, from 3 to 5. So
okay, how interesting. I'm in charge of producing many different kind of podcasts and conversational programs where I give and offer our audiences the opportunity to learn that the dreams and the different projects that those guys or those ladies have are possible to achieve. So you are a good testimony for that. So that's why I invite you to be with me today. What kind of programs are you producing right now on radio and on TV?
So right now, the show is more about what's happening, what's coming. But I also, and I'm glad you mentioned that, encourage people on my radio show, other than give them the news and what's going on in the city and, you know, the top news, the top, how we call it, chisme. I talk about different things in reference to that to get better, because I know we always have challenges, and our life strike you many times with things that are not expected, and life is not always beautiful and not always pretty. So in the midst of the information, even in the worst adversity, have the best attitude and, you know, keep going forward.
Keep going forward and try to be a better human being, right? Because I think that at any time we have the challenge to get our best version in one way or another, right? Paola, do you think that you need to be a leader to be on a radio program?
I think we, as humans, we have the barriers on our minds. You know, you graduate, you think, well, now it's time to prove myself. And I think when the opportunity and the education and you believe in yourself, you're capable of doing anything. Of course, like you mentioned, always guided by God. You know, there's a lot of times we think, how come I can't accomplish this or that, or how come this person was able to do this, and I've been struggling for years to come out with an idea or come out with a project, and it's not happening. But sometimes when you have all this energy, but God, you know, it's like when you give a kid a 4-year-old kid a car. He's like, I'm ready to drive a car, but he's not ready, right? This is something that you need to be prepared. Being in a platform as like a radio, like a TV platform, it's a powerful tool, and you really need to be very wise of what you're saying, what you're communicating, because there is a lot of people behind this mic, right? You're like, oh, there is a mic, I'm here by myself. But the truth is, there's too many people, there's a lot of people listening, and you can create or you can destroy.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. So you have that responsibility. You have to have leadership. Yes. You have to believe in yourself and believe you're capable of doing all this. And that's part of leadership, right?
Yeah, because that activity is something that you're enjoying, right?
That is exactly right. I enjoy very much being able to create positive things through radio, through TV, through being able to be here and communicate
and sharing, because what is the power of a good leader is that this person is ready to share, and when you share, you can transmit and broadcast that benefit to the ears and the hearts of thousands and millions of people, right?
Absolutely. I was today on my show talking specifically about Brendan Fraser, who's now has a movie right now on the theaters called The Whale, and he just recently won an award. And this guy, an amazing actor, he was such a good-looking guy years ago, but he went into a struggle time where he was not able to perform anymore. He was like, he didn't have any more casting available for him because he told somebody in Hollywood that he was molested by this director, and it was horrible. But finally, after all these years, and he was gaining weight, he was getting old. And yesterday, as he was getting his recognition, I'm not sure if it was the Golden Globes. I'm not sure. I know he was nominated for the Grammys, but he was in tears saying, when you are in a dark moment, trying to search for the light, trying to look for the light and focus on that. And so people think that because you're here in a radio environment or a TV environment, or even in Hollywood, you have no problems, life is perfect, everything's beautiful. Mm-hmm. But all of us have challenges and struggles and moments of darkness, but it's always important to focus on the light.
Thank you so much for those great messages that you're now providing. And all these things are correlated with values, those important issues that human beings are supposed to live every single time, like integrity, for example. How are you implementing your integrity in your different programs?
So like I mentioned, I think you use those values in every area of your life, not only like in your work area, but also every day, when you wake up, when you talk to your kids, when you teach, that you care for others. What is the one thing that you do every day to bring something positive to humanity, to my neighbor, right? And that's something that you do not only at work, but every day, something positive to bring. Because sometimes you don't have people on top of you looking at you or watching you what you do. But there is a God, right, that is always there, and that He gives you the wisdom to understand that through your work, bring happiness and hope, through what you do in every aspect of your life, even when you're not being seen. When you have those values like immersed in you, like. It's something that sticks with you and it doesn't leave you. So I moved to Miami when I was 22. So I was 21. And so since then, and I'm not going to say how old I am, a few years ago, I studied communication, and that's something that it was very close to my heart, because I always even when I was in high school, I was a radio host at my high school. So I love radio, I love communication, I love everything that has to do with media. And so I started working, doing news as a freelancer for the channel 7, 41, and a couple of the channels where we'll record some news and starting, because you will have to wake up in the middle of the night. We had a connection with the radio, the 911 police radio, where a major accident will happen. So we'll have to get up in the middle of the night and go record. So quite an experience, very sad a lot of times, because these type of crimes often happen, that happen in the middle of the night. They're not, So I started connecting, and I'm working in Univision, the show. We'll record for hours.
Sure, sure.
7 hours. And then, so I did a lot of different things, from Miami. I moved to Atlanta and I started working in La Que Buena radio station on the national morning show. And so I did radio there. And my mom opened up a newspaper and I started doing columns for the newspaper and writing and doing everything that has to do with journalism and investigation of different things. And here I am in Charleston right now working with the media.
Okay, great. That's great. And all these activities are completely related with public relations and advertising for companies and for industries. How is that kind of business related with your profession?
So, well, every media company, we survive by the sponsors, right?
Sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah. So we, TV, radio, newspaper, they're all surviving by, how do I say this? Yeah, any type of a sponsor, any type of company that advertise with the radio. Mm-hmm. So it goes hand by hand, right? Mm-hmm. So sure. In my radio show, I have sponsors that you know what, I'd like to be on that show. How can I be part of it? Can I have an interview? And that's how we managed to sell parts of radio too within the show, and mm-hmm. also the segments where people wants to sell their business, or sure. either the radio spots, 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 45 seconds, we record.
You normally offer them some kind of commercial spots or moments where you advertise their different brands. Yeah.
Yeah, so the sales department, the sales department is the other department that sells the show and sells PAOLA, PAZ, the talent, where, I can be the voice for companies that wants to have a word. Right now, we're working with the Department of Health here in Charleston. And so they're doing a campaign for the HIV and PAOLA 103.5. Also, both of us at Talent are doing all these videos to aware people about this.
All right. Interesting. And in that way, you also help the community.
That's the main idea, yeah, being able to help the community. That's what we're here for. And I always tell them, we're here for you. We have a WhatsApp number. If something happened, if you want to communicate something that is within the margins, I don't know how to say that, but that we're able to present, we're more than welcome to do it, because we are the community's voice.
Wow. Congratulations, and I'm really proud that people like you are doing such an interesting work, helping the community, and of course representing Latinos in the United States.
There is so much that the people is doing now with social media, and people is doing a lot, and a lot of them actually being very famous, and they didn't even went to school, right?
Yeah, that is the kind of shocking point, right?
They didn't step on a college, or they don't have a college degree, but yet they're becoming famous. And we go back to the same thing that we talked at the beginning. I think when this is something that you're passionate about, that you're doing with all your being, you put in your heart, your passion, and you're doing good, you do it good. That's how I supposed to say it. You do it well. I believe you have a hope. It doesn't matter where you are. I've seen videos that are amazingly done, mm-hmm. In Africa, in I don't know, Haiti, all of these countries that you're like, I cannot believe.
Sure.
There are so many kids, young kids that started making videos and reels on Instagram. And you see them, they live in poverty, and now they're making money because the video went viral, because now they're being rich. But it's a video, it's a beauty behind the reality that a lot of people live.
Which is really the authenticity.
Exactly.
right?
It's unique. It's like you said, it's authentic. It's not fake. They're not pretending to. You never seen her with makeup, with the but
Sure,
it's like it's just so real. Lately, I seen her doing little commercials on her reels, and I'm like, now she's getting paid.
Yeah, you
Wow.
know, and they have 500,000, 600,000 followers. And this is like what these guys are doing, so that they are so lucky on TikTok or maybe YouTube.
Right.
You know? Well, right. There are a lot of things that we can learn from many different talentful people, as you're mentioning, but we also can learn from you because you're also very talentful. What is more difficult, according to you, based on your experience, to develop, to produce radio programs or TV programs? What is your opinion about that?
So,
in other words, what is more difficult, radio or TV?
Two different worlds, two different beauties. It's like comparing Miami with New York. They're both beautiful, but they're both very different. And I think in radio, as you see here, it's just like a room, you know, my console, my computers, my
headsets.
Headphones. It has so much power because you're getting to reaching a lot of people. Same thing with TV, but TV you have to produce. You have to be. I can come here in my pajamas. Nobody will ever find out, right?
Sure.
But on TV, you are presenting yourself, and you will become a product too. Like I have to be looking good, and it's a production going on, and it's like go. You're being paid by the minute. You know, like do we have to produce this? Let's make it happen. We have a certain time. The same thing on radio, but it's not as, I don't know how to say this.
Stressful?
You have a camera in front of you, right? So
right,
3, 2, 1, let's go.
And it's even worse when you're live.
Even though now in radio, we're doing a lot of live videos on Facebook and Instagram. We've been asked to do. So I do a half-an-hour video. So I try to come presentable, not in my pajamas, of course. But I think you're more free in the radio. You're able to create more. In TV, you have a script and you have to follow the script, and it's more.
And it's so difficult, as you're saying, that on TV it's really hard to be spontaneous because you got to be careful, right?
Yeah, you got to be very careful. That's exactly right. You can be very spontaneous in radio, especially if it's a talk show where you can, touch different topics, and I produce my own show, so I can talk different things. But when it comes to TV and you're like doing a specific program or news, you have to be guided by the script, and that's that.
That is true. Can you leave us a message for the viewers, for our followers, for those who are like trying to get more involved on radio programs and TV programs? Can you leave them a message?
So the first thing that I have to say is believe in yourself. Believe that you're capable of doing big things. People doesn't have to like you and love you and adore you and agree with you in many, many areas. But when you look at yourself, you need to love yourself and know that you have the potential of doing so much. Everything that you want to accomplish, always, this is me saying it, by the hand of God, we can accomplish so much, and so believe in yourself and walk with the hand of God.
Sure.
The first thing is actually walk with God, and the second thing is believe in yourself.
All right.
It
was a mixture of what you were saying before, right? Paola, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. I hope this is not going to be the last time that we can get together and sharing experiences and talking to people, because at the final end, what we want to do is try to leave a legacy, some kind of message of hope for the world. Thank you so much for your time. You are a wonderful human being, and I hope you can come soon to our screens and continue talking to us. All right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time too. I had an amazing time.
All right. Take care of yourself and see you soon. Thanks.
Bye.